100% of our high blood pressure epidemic is due to the
We have a blood pressure epidemic on our hands. Nearly half of all US adults have high blood pressure, and yet studies report that over 80% never receive any counseling about diet or physical activity from their doctor. Today, so many people are struggling, and yet as soon as their numbers go up, they're told, here's your pill. No conversation about food, no mention of magnesium, no talk about stress. No one's asking, what's actually causing this? My name's Lillie. I'm a certified nutrition health coach, and earlier this year, I interviewed Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride, who's a medical doctor and neurologist, but I'd never shared this section of the video clip because I just thought, to say 100% seems like a pretty big, bold claim, and I didn't want to mislead people. But as I thought about it more, I figured as long as I can provide more context to what's being said, then this can be a very impactful video. So I'm gonna play the short 2-minute clip with Dr. Natasha, and then I'll see you on the other side where I'll share what I agree with, what I think could use a little bit more context, and ultimately what I would do to naturally lower my blood pressure if I was in that situation. If you enjoy this kind of content, don't be silly, subscribe to Lillie. Nowadays we have more and more people having high blood pressure, and the rates of high blood pressure is just skyrocketing. And could you just give people some ideas as to why this may be happening?
What is high blood pressure? It is magnesium deficiency in the human body. In order to contract, your blood vessel needs calcium. In order to relax, they need magnesium. There's always plenty of calcium in the human body because the body can always draw calcium out of your bones and out of other structures. But magnesium is in short supply. It's in short supply in our foods, and it is in short supply in the human body. And in order to digest 1 molecule of table sugar, you need 56 molecules of magnesium. Where's that magnesium going to come from? When you had your cup of coffee with 1 or 2 teaspoons of sugar there, or you had your chocolate bar, or you had your sweets, or you had your biscuits, or you had your cake, or you had your breakfast cereal, or you had your toast, your bread, because the bread digests as sugar and it absorbs as sugar. The flour turns into sugar in your stomach. So what happens? Where is that magnesium to come from? It comes from your muscles, from the smooth muscles in the walls of your blood vessels. As a result, they cannot relax because they develop magnesium deficiency. And your blood pressure goes up. 100% of our high blood pressure epidemic is due to the consumption of wheat, barley, rice, maize, and sugar. In order to get rid of your high blood pressure, instead of taking pharmaceuticals, which cause all those side effects, you just have to stop eating these things. But of course, it's difficult for people because they're addicted. Addictions are not easy to overcome.
Now I feel like there are no guarantees in life, and it's pretty much impossible to say that anything is 100%. So I don't personally agree that all high blood pressure is caused by wheat, barley, corn, and sugar. And I'm going to run through a whole list of other diet and lifestyle factors that can contribute to high blood pressure and some simple things that I would do today to make a positive impact on my blood pressure. But I do want to acknowledge Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride does have a valid point. Excessive amounts of wheat, barley, rice, corn, and sugar can spike blood sugar and drive inflammation, both which can put stress on the cardiovascular system. And if I were filling up on toast, cereal, and sweet snacks, there's a good chance that I'm missing out on eating other foods higher in potassium, magnesium, and protein, all which are essential for healthy blood pressure regulation. Dr. Campbell McBride said that the body uses 56 molecules of magnesium to process 1 molecule of sugar. Now, I'm going to be honest, you guys, I did not see that exact number published in research, though the idea does hold true that sugar metabolism depletes magnesium. The more refined sugar someone consumes, the more nutrients the body has to use to handle it, though also whether someone consumes large amounts of sugar or zero if someone is highly stressed. From work, politics, family, social media, the more stress someone has in their life, the more the body uses magnesium. And then, like Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride said, magnesium is in short supply in our foods, as our soil health is not as rich in minerals as it used to be. That means the plants we eat and the animals who eat those plants often contain less magnesium than they did even just a couple decades ago. I personally take 400 to 500 milligrams of magnesium daily, which always shocks my clients because most are taking 0 upwards of 150 milligrams a day. Meanwhile, my blood work shows that my magnesium levels are smack dab in the middle healthy range. Again, that's considering most days I'm taking upwards of 500 milligrams of magnesium daily. I take a product called Magnesium Breakthrough at night with my dinner, which really does help me calm down and fall asleep faster. This particular magnesium is the only one on the market that has 7 forms of magnesium in it. So yes, it's got magnesium citrate that can improve digestion and relieve constipation. It's got malate that can support energy and muscle recovery. It's got taurate, which can help supporting the heart and blood pressure regulation. It's got magnesium glycinate, which can help with improving sleep and relaxation. So it has 7 forms of magnesium in it. And today's video is sponsored by Bioptimizers. So if you'd like to get 10% off of any of their products, including their magnesium, you can go to the link in the description, bioptimizers.com/Lillie Kane, or use discount code Lillie Kane at checkout for that 10% off. Now I'm going to run through a list of other diet and lifestyle factors that can contribute to high blood pressure before moving into the simple things that people could do today to make a positive impact on blood pressure. So like we already covered, excessive amounts of ultra-processed foods high in wheat, barley, corn, and sugar can contribute to high blood pressure, but another culprit can be seed oils, which can lead to chronic inflammation and damaged blood vessels. Then yes, low magnesium, but also low potassium and calcium intake. Then there's having too much sodium from processed foods. Now there are 2 main buckets of salts. There are salts in packaged foods and natural salts. Now the salts in packaged foods are usually refined, highly processed, stripped of their trace minerals. They often have anti-caking agents and can even have dextrose, straight up sugar in them. Whereas with the natural salts like Celtic salt, pink Himalayan salt, Redmond's real salt, and other natural salts, they're minimally processed and contain more of their trace minerals like potassium, magnesium, iron, and calcium, which can all be beneficial. Other high blood pressure factors include things like excessive alcohol and smoking, undereating, which can impact hormones, chronic stress, high cortisol, poor quality sleep, a sedentary lifestyle, heavy metals and mold, and there are genetic predispositions, but lifestyle often turns on the gene. So wheat, barley, corn, and sugar are big players in blood pressure, especially in the standard American diet, but they're not the only culprits. And I think saying 100% of these foods are the contributors ignores some other real root cause issues like sleep, stress, and micronutrient depletion. If I had high blood pressure, this is exactly what I'd do. First, I'd start small. Often people get overwhelmed thinking they have to change all of their lifestyle. They've got to go to the gym for 60 minutes, never drink alcohol again, meditate every morning. And while those things are great, I'd start small to make it sustainable. When it comes to movement, I'd do some simple calf raises sitting in my chair at my desk at work. I'd do some gentle leg kicks sitting on my couch when watching TV. When brushing my teeth, I would be sidestepping. When on the phone, I would pace around my house because any kind of movement can create circulation, which can strengthen the heart and improve blood vessel function. Some simple strategies with food would be to focus on having more protein because protein is so satiating and filling. It keeps people nice and full that with my one-on-one coaching clients, I don't tell them to stop having sugar. I say, let's focus on having more protein because inevitably they'll eat less sugar as a result because they'll be nice and full off of the protein. And so some simple ways to get more protein in is simply making a crock pot meal. You just throw some meat into a crock pot, it cooks all day long, and when you come home from work, you've got lots of food plus leftovers to take to work. With it being summer right now, that seems like a hot option for me. I'm not crock potting right now, but an easy way to get more protein is through canned foods. So canned sardines, canned oysters, canned chicken, canned salmon, canned mackerel. Doing the canned foods is light, but also can be taken on road trips, taken to work, thrown into a purse, put them in your pocket. And it's just a way to easily get some more protein in that also is affordable. Often there are many ways to find the food you love and swap it for something that is more nutritious and has more protein. For example, like I shared in the previous video, I used to be a big tortilla gal, and instead I swapped for things like cheese folio wraps, which are just made from cheese, or egg life wraps made from eggs. So simple wrap ideas that have more protein. Or instead of having waffles, people make a lot of chaffles with 1 egg and a half a cup of cheese. They mix it together, put it in their little waffle maker, cook for 3 to 4 minutes, and out comes these savory chaffles. So usually there is a way to find something that you love to make it a healthier version with more protein. I also send out a free protein cheat sheet every Saturday to your email. Some of you said that you haven't got it yet, but I would say check your spam. Sometimes it lands there. But if you'd like that free protein cheat sheet, then just click the link in the video description where you insert your email, and then I send that out every Saturday. To help with blood pressure, we also got to be working on sleeping more and stressing less, which somehow I find with my clients, it's easier for me to get them to eat more protein and to have more movement in their life. But when it comes to sleeping and stressing less, it's like, more difficult. So I think a lot of people are scrolling on their phones, watching more YouTube videos or more Netflix, and there are apps that you can set on your phone that will kick you off of the app post a certain time of the night. So you could set the app to saying, hey, I can't go on Facebook past 10 p.m. or I can't go on Instagram past 9 o'clock. But either way, you should, put some restrictions on yourself if you're finding it's hard to just do it on your own. Ultimately, it's knowing, why am I doing this? Why am I trying to sleep earlier? Why am I trying to journal to release some stress? Or watch less news, watch less politics, meditate more, take more breaths, read more positive mindset books. Hold on. This is the book I'm reading right now. It is Don't Believe Everything You Think. I think it's pretty good. I would recommend. It's a 10 out of 10 so far. And ultimately, this is something that really helps me fall asleep at night, is I will read books like these, positive mindset books, grounding books, books that bring me into the present moment, bring me more joy, gratefulness, and love. And that helps me just sleep so easily and relax me. So you gotta do what you gotta do, but you gotta get the sleeping and the stressing under control. As someone who doesn't have high blood pressure, I get regular blood work done. But especially if I were someone who had high blood pressure, I would be getting a full panel of blood work, because in doing so, it would give me insights into which area of my life to be putting my efforts and focus on. For example, if my vitamin D is low, then I'd be supplementing with vitamin D to help move my blood pressure in a better direction. If my cortisol is high, then I want to focus my efforts on lowering stress in my life. If my insulin is high, then I want to be focusing on getting out maybe some of the ultra processed foods and excessive refined carbohydrates. Now, when I say a full panel of blood work, most people go to their doctor and their doctor runs like a very basic panel of like 20 biomarkers, no hormones, no detailed thyroid panel, no inflammation panel. And in doing so, someone can get their 20 biomarkers and look great. And their doctor says, hey, everything's fine. Just keep doing what you're doing. Whereas I think that's, I think we need a little bit more than just the basics. I'll put a list on the screen of all the blood work I would be definitely trying to get. I personally get all of these biomarkers tested each year because it gives a picture into my heart health, my thyroid function, my hormones, my liver health. It just gives an overall comprehensive view of my health. And I don't go to a doctor to have these markers tested. I know some of you guys are like, Lillie, I'm nervous to have my doctor test this because I don't want them to say, here's your statin. Or I don't want them to say, why are you running an A1C? You're not diabetic. It's like, well, how do I know that if you don't test it? So personally, I bypass the whole doctor route and I just go online to Function Health. On that website, you just click through a basic questionnaire, and then they do try to have different add-ons. So if you want to add on a cancer panel or a dementia risk or an MTHFR gene panel, there's different panels to add on, but we just get the basic panel. It's $4.99 for the year. So it includes 100 biomarkers in the beginning, plus a secondary follow-up midway through the year to see how your results have changed over time. And Function even gave me a $100 off credit for you guys, which is crazy because I already thought the $4.99 deal was the best price I had seen for this many blood test markers. And so if you'd like to get $100 off, use code LillieKane100 or go to the link in the video description, functionhealth.com/LillieKane. Once you complete your order online, you sign up right there for a blood test center near you. And then you just go to that blood test center, they draw the blood, and then your blood work is sent to you online. So it's a very simple, easy process, and it covers all the blood test markers I put on the screen as well. I'm telling you guys, I was shocked the first time I learned that 1 in 2 US adults, 50% of US adults have high blood pressure. I couldn't believe it. I was trying to fact check it, research it, Google it. I couldn't believe it. We have this huge blood pressure epidemic on our hands, and we need to start taking back control of our health through movement, food, sleep, and lowering stress. I would actually argue, I think the lowering stress part is so critical, more than people realize. I'm somebody who takes care of, I eat the good healthy foods, I exercise, I get sunshine, I do the sauna, I do a lot of good healthy things, but I know that the area I need to most work on is stress, because I don't even realize that, I'm checking my phone, or that I'm being stimulated by social media, or that, there's different little things in life that are stressing our bodies and our minds, and we have become so accustomed to it. So again, starting small, working on the things that we can control, having hope that everything's going to be okay, and starting small with little things that sound realistic. What in this video did I say that sounded like you could do it, or it sounds fun, or you could make it easy, or you could make it realistic in your life? That's where I'd start, and I hope you got value out of this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe. I hope you guys have a happy day, a peaceful day, and I'll see you soon.